Welcome!
Welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and Part 9 to What If Clara Survived. Before we get into it, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage, where our channel mascot Omni will direct you to the Discord, all the Google Docs, and everything else the Omniverse has to offer, along with smashing the like button, subscribing to the Omniverse of Nick, sharing the Omniverse around and turning on all Omniversal notifications, and commenting future requests and expectations in the comment section. With all that said, let's begin. We open up where we ended off last time with the infamous lineup scene and Negan's introduction. Negan gives the same speech about the killing of his people and how the new world order is that they give him their crap or he will kill them. And now he's got to pick somebody for Lucille. So now we get to that scene. He starts walking over who to choose, but Tyrese says, "You're not seriously considering this, are you?" And he says, "We never meant to kill your people. We were told you were an active threat that needed put down. Nothing more, nothing less." There's kids in this lineup you got going on here. You really willing to risk the very sake of humanity just to prove a point? Negan says, "It's much more than proving a point there." And then he compares him to something like a Steelers player or something like that. We know Tyrese was in sports and everything before the apocalypse, something along those lines. And he would make a joke about Tyrese for something like that. And he would have never expected a guy like him to be a peacekeeper. But it's not going to save him or anybody else. He's got to pick somebody. And the bat lands on Abraham. And he beats his head into a bloody pulp like he does in canon, leading to Daryl punching Negan. But Negan, he chooses a very different route this time. Because Tyrese did speak up, yes. But we didn't get Glenn lunging at Negan here, or anything before that of Daryl punching him. So Negan, he thinks for a long second, but then says, "You're very, very lucky I don't take another." And then he smiles and says, "It's okay. You didn't understand the rules. So let me let you guys in on another part of the New World Order. Old Gingy there, he was the only one who needs to die. If any of you act out of line like old Daryl here again, I will shut that SHIT down, no exceptions. Consider that your one warning." And then he goes to try and break Rick and does that like he does in canon, leading to Rick almost cutting Carl's arm off and Negan taking complete control of the situation. Daryl getting kidnapped and sent to the sanctuary, and Noah and Tyrese talking to each other about Abraham and about what has happened. And who goes to the hilltop with Maggie? Even though she didn't lose Glenn to Negan, she still has to go there along with Clara. So Sasha, Beth, Jesse, and Sam all go with Maggie and Clara to the hilltop to make sure that they can get checked on. Meanwhile, Carol almost dies to the saviors who follow her, but Morgan saves her and sends her to the kingdom where they meet Ezekiel. And then Negan goes to Alexandria to get the first delivery. And much of what goes on there is absolutely the same, minus a few interactions and a few changed interactions. Rick is told to hold Lucille, thinks about killing him. Not as deep this time because it's Abraham's death alone, but we still get the whole Carl causing problems with Negan at the house, and Rosita asking Eugene for a bullet because Abraham. Then we get Carl wanting to go to Hilltop and everything just to take Negan down. Enid trying to stop him to no avail. Him hiding in the truck with Jesus in there too. and Gregory finding out about the whole thing, wanting to kick everybody out, but with lots more people backing Maggie and Clara and everything like that. Gregory has no say in anything here, even more so than in canon. Then we learn about what happened with Heath and Tara, since they still went on their mission, and then Heath getting kidnapped by Jadis because of the CRM, and Tara getting held by the Oceanside people and returning to find out what happened to Glenn because of walkers. And if she didn't already leave already, it's debatable around that time. But then she finds out what happened to Denise, Abraham, and several other things. Carl gets apprehended by Negan and everybody else at the sanctuary when he tries to kill Negan and all that. And that goes exactly the same. And then Rosita and Spencer come home to find out that Negan and several saviors are at Alexandria. Daryl escapes thanks to Jesus. Negan kills Spencer for trying to want to rebel against Rick. And Arat is told to kill somebody after Rosita shoots Lucille. And this time, when she whirls around to shoot the gun at Olivia, Noah is up there too. And the gun is actually pointing towards him. And then Tyrese makes a very bold and gut-felt decision, gets his hammer, and strikes Noah in the back non-lethally to make sure that the bullet doesn't hit him. And Tyrese takes the bullet to save Noah. So Olivia doesn't die here. For those who actually cared about Olivia, good for you. And it's not like I haven't had her killed by Alpha or something like that. Just know that she's alive. It really doesn't matter. Negan sees that Rick has returned along with Aaron, and he explains that Carl tried to kill him and also killed a little bit of his men, and he brought him home, fed him spaghetti. And then he says about Spencer revolting and wanting to put him in charge, and that Negan took him out. And then he says that Rosita shot Lucille trying to kill him, so he gave him one less mouth to feed. And that guy, Tyrese, honestly, he wouldn't have picked him to be the one to go, but Arat can't trust her. And honestly, being a peacekeeper, he felt like him and Tyrese could have been really good friends, especially him being some kind of sports or whatever guy he was back in the day. He would have made a great lieutenant of his. But now he has to find the guy or gal that made the bullet which almost killed him. And Eugene is apprehended after Tara tries to lie for him, and Rosita keeps demanding, and Eugene is apprehended when he tells the truth, and he gets taken. Michonne, even though she is not with Rick in this timeline, tells Rick that now or never, they have to fight Negan. And yes, Rick is broken with Glenn dying, but it's not due to Negan, and Abraham's death is the only one by Negan's. So Rick is definitely way more on board with fighting Negan at this point. Rick and Michonne have a similar conversation about Shane and Judith, but it's not romantically felt because Rick and Clara are together. Instead, it's directed towards helping Clara and surviving a future with what Michonne knows is Rick's future baby. Because, yeah, she knows by this point that Rick and Clara have officially, for a decent bit now, been a thing. And by the time they return to Hilltop, Rick and Clara reunite and have a kiss. Then Rick reunites with Daryl, and unfortunately, Noah has to tell Sasha about Tyrese taking a bullet from Arat to save his life. Sasha, now by this point, has to mourn the loss of her brother. And yeah, it's pretty much how she felt in canon, except way later in the story. Now, Rick's only task is getting every other community, both known and not yet explored, on his side for the war against the Saviors. What will go on to actually be the full-throttled war for the Saviors? Will it turn out better than in canon, considering what's happened? Or has the losses that have slowly started to pile up begun to shape the group into a much darker and similarly drawn-in canon version to themselves? And how will the next and last two parts of Clara's survival end and pan out?
Now get out!
What?
Get out! Everybody get out!